Hi everyone, it's Chris here. This short video will take you through the things that you'll need to do to get started on your second assessment for technical writing for university, and that is the experimental report. Okay, so let's have a look at experimental reports. They are a common form of writing in scientific and technical fields, and if you are heading into a scientific or technical field at university, inevitably you'll encounter these kinds of reports at some stage. Now, there can be slight variations between different disciplines. So, for example, engineering might have a slightly different way of presenting that information compared to, say, for example, psychology. But the basic structure is the same. And we answer these questions. So what was the experiment and why was it done? How was it done? What were the results? And what do the results mean? So it doesn't matter which discipline you come from or you're heading into, you'll answer those basic questions. Okay, so the steps to conducting an experimental report. So first of all, you have to choose your topic. And there are a couple of topics on Moodle, and I'll explain those in a moment. You have to do your research. So for this assignment, you don't need to do a great deal of research. We're not going to be doing referencing until the third assessment. But it's a good idea to have a bit of a look around online to see what kind of information you can find to help you understand the experiment. Then you need to come up with a hypothesis, and so this will be a statement of fact, and I've got a couple of examples that I'll show you in a moment. You'll need to design your experiment, so think about what you're going to do. Then you need to do the experiment, so conduct it and record the results, and then you'll need to evaluate those results and comment on them, describe them and comment on them, and start writing and put it all into an experimental report. Now we'll have a closer look at what these things mean. Okay, so choosing a topic. There are two options listed on Moodle. There's the reaction time experiment and the Stroop experiment. The reaction time experiment involves a ruler, someone dropping a ruler and someone catching it. Quite simple really, but what we're going to do is see if we can add some variables in there that make it interesting. So for example, you could have people talking on a mobile phone and then recording their reaction times and comparing that to people who are not talking on a mobile phone. That has important implications for driving, of course. It might be other things like watching television and people who are not. You could do other things, different ages, different types of people, so people who might be good at sports versus people who are not. You could test different times of day to see if there's a difference between morning and nighttime, before caffeine and after caffeine, and so on. The second option is the Stroop experiment, and this is quite a famous experiment that was first conducted in 1935. And it's very simple, but quite interesting. So you can see there's a few different words on the screen there, red, brown, brown and red, but they're in different colors. And this experiment has been repeated hundreds of times and probably thousands of times by students. And what the participants have to do is say the color, not the word that is written there. So for example, the first word is red, but it is written in brown font. And the second word is brown, but it is written in a purple font. So the participants have to say brown, purple, green, blue. And it's amazing the difference that it can make when the colors don't match the meaning of the words. So we can do some variations on that. You can jumble the letters up, put them in circles. You could use different sorts of font. You can try different shapes. You can have other variables in there to see what kind of things influence the ability of people to say those things quickly. So, and there's more information about that on Moodle, so for both of those experiments. You can read further background information online, so it's a good idea to do that just to get an idea of what's possible and what's been done before. Now, the experiment that you do doesn't have to be earth-shattering in terms of what it reveals, but you can repeat those experiments, and this is something that's commonly done in science and technical fields. Okay, so your hypothesis and experiment design. So you need to come up with a hypothesis, and it might be something like caffeine improves the reaction times of people aged 18 to 40 years of age. So it's a statement that, and then you try to see whether that's true or not. It might be misspelling colours will decrease interference in the Stroop effect. So come up with a hypothesis, whatever you want to investigate, and then design your experiment. So think about what information you'll need, and then what is the process to get that information. And you need to plan this very carefully. So what are the steps? What are the participants going to be doing? What are you going to say to them? How is it going to be conducted? What are you going to record? That kind of thing. Okay, so conducting the experiment itself, this is where you have a bit of fun. You can put on a lab coat if you have one, put your goggles on, and then conduct the experiment and record the results. And this is quite important. Now you can record that, it'll probably be in a table, so you'll be recording times and things like that. And you need to then think about the best way to present that information, whether it's in that table or whether you need to create a graph or a pie chart or some other form of representing that information. Then you'll need to analyze the results. So what do the results show? So describe the results and comment on them. So you can't just rely just on the diagrams or pictures themselves. So what do they show? And then what was interesting, thought-provoking, unexpected, or important in the results? So point those things out to the reader. And did you prove your hypothesis correct or not? Now, there's no points for getting your hypothesis correct. In fact, it's quite interesting if your hypothesis is not correct, and then you can comment on why that is. So getting your hypothesis correct is not the purpose. It's to objectively look at the results and decide whether that was true or not. And then start writing. So you can check the sample report that's on Moodle in the assessment block. It has it's the format that we're looking for. So it has the right sections, and then you can use that as an idea for what you need to do with your report. You should also read chapter 8 of the study guide. Pages 123 to 124 specifically have the parts of an experimental report, and you should read that. And get started on your writing. So even though the assessment's not due until the end of week 6, start writing things out now. And of course, if you have any questions, you can ask Robin. So you can use the forums to do that. You can send Robin an email, or you can give her a call. If you do want to do an experiment other than the 2 that we have suggested, we do encourage you to do one of those 2 and do a variation of it. But you can choose something different, and you'll just need to get approval from Robin. Okay, I wish you all the best with your experiments, and I look forward to seeing you online soon. Bye for now.